Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the channel, guys. I hope we're all buzzing along on the crest of a wave. God, it's damn good to be alive. Right, what are we doing today? Right, this is just a quick ramble. I know I like to have a good ramble on a Friday, but today is going to be a bit of a brief one because I'm uber busy. I'm going to be hot-footing my way down to Kent today. We're at Detling this weekend, so Saturday and Sunday we'll be at Detling, which is a massive antiques fair. Bargain Hunt are going to be there, so if you fancy getting your mush on the old TV, follow them around. You're bound to appear. You're bound to appear. Now, that said, I will be putting on an LED show, so you can find me in the hall. Just look for the light that's glowing. I guarantee you nobody else will be having one. It'll just be me because I'm that sort of guy. Today, silver price, gold price. Everyone telling me there's going to be an explosion. Well, so far I'm yet to see it. So, with the caveat in, obviously I'm not your financial advisor, but for me, I'm going to be filling my boots if I can get it at the right price. Now, as you can see today, or this week, I've been incredibly busy. I've been making some little hearts, all stamped up. They're literally, I wouldn't say they're perfect, but bearing in mind I'm the new kid on the block, I'm just learning. So if you want to support me and come and buy some of these pieces, it would be hugely appreciated. As you can see, every single piece is numbered. Every single piece has its own COA. So if we take the block, I mean, this is a lump. I mean, we've got 18 troy ounces, like of 925 silver. Stamped, hallmark British, my logo, and it's stamped with the weight. Now, if we look on the back here, it says here, if you can get it up, you can see that I've actually put that on here as well. So you can actually see you've got a COA telling you exactly what it is. I'm not one of these people who likes to go, yeah, honest Gov, it's silver. Yeah, no, it really is. I mean, this is a chunk. We're talking over half a kilo here. That is a massive amount, to behold. So if you want to have a good chunk in your collection, that's where the start is, right there. So other than that, if you want to take some of my first attempts at sand casting, bearing in mind, I'm brand new to this. But again, as you can see, all stamped up. This one's 1.5 troy ounces. Got the logo on there. Look, we're British, 925. I think it's incredibly important to actually make sure that whatever you buy, make sure it's hallmarked. If it's not hallmarked and it's not got a COA, you're asking for trouble, basically. So do yourselves a favour, when you're stacking up for your collection, make sure that it's hallmarked, or you need something on there to verify it is what it is, because there's a lot of stuff that is not. I mean, I've been caught out myself, hence why I bought one of the machines. I've got a Sigma verifier myself, and I use that to check everything, even if it comes from the Royal Mint. I don't care where it comes from. I did once have one of my, someone who I classed as a friend, more of a business acquaintance, but he said, "What, you're going to actually check my stuff?" And I went, "Yeah, you're right, I am." I said, "I don't know if you've been had over. Have you checked it?" And he went, "Well, no, but it come from the Royal Mint." And I went, "Well, as Charles can verify, not everything that comes from the Royal Mint is what it's supposed to be." So, now, looking at the silver prices and the gold prices of what's been going on this week, JP Morgan, interestingly, have become very interesting to me. As I always say to you guys, follow the evidence, follow it through. Do your own research, make sure you're happy before you do anything. Personally, I will only buy physical metal. I will not buy anything else. Unless I've got something that I can hold in my grubby little mitt, I'm not interested. But I do keep an eye on what's going on the market. So if you haven't been keeping an eye on the market, just to bring you up to speed, there's a couple of things that have been going on. One in particular is the fact that JP Morgan has cut its forecast by 25% from $6,000 an ounce to $4,500 an ounce by year end. Well, you say, cool, blimey, that means the gold market's going to take a tumble. Well, interestingly, they're still accumulating gold. Now, then, it hasn't stopped them going out and buying. They're not saying, well, we're not looking too clever on gold at the moment, so we're going to stop buying it. Hell, they're one of the largest, got one of the largest stocks of gold on the planet. So for them to say they've cut their forecast, from 6,000 to 4,500 is quite incredible, really. My personal take on this, and I do take, because I am not your financial advisor, but my personal take on this is that should we actually listen to a bank that has been convicted of manipulating metals several times, but is still accumulating gold? For me, it's like giving somebody a knife and saying, go on, stab me again. Go on, hurt me some more, I just don't take a word they say as gospel. They've manipulated the markets for so long now. And they're frantically trying to save the dollar because of what China is doing. We all know that the dollar is on its knees. Your purchasing power on the dollar is it's probably worth about 3 cents, 4 cents on the dollar is what it's worth. So it's basically a worthless bit of currency. And everybody is dumping it and buying gold or buying silver or a bit of both. So that goes for all the banks. Now, interestingly though, UBS, they've actually said that buyers should be patient, but we still expect to see a realistic price of around about 5,200 by the end of the year. But from today, for me, China is going to be calling the shots. In truth, whilst we know that everybody is trying to, the American side are trying to, save the dollar, you can't save something that's already dead in the water. It's been bleeding copious amounts for a long time now. So after today, and you're probably sitting there thinking, well, what's special about today? Well, back in January, China announced that if you hold ETFs, you've got to have them closed off by the 24th of July, which is today. So close of business today, you've got to have closed your book. So you've got to have sold them. Now, what do I think that will mean to us short term? Short term, I think we might even see prices dip a little bit. I don't think they're going to go by much. I think they're pretty much going to stay as they are, to be truthful. I don't really see prices picking up till the end of this month, getting into August. And then I think we'll see things steadily climb towards the end of the year. You've got to remember, everybody's on holiday in America at the moment, or trading-wise they are. So there's not going to be massive amounts of movement. It's just going to be the same old, massaging the market, doing what they want, as they tend to do. But if you're a stacker, for me, I'll be filling my boots. If I can buy gold and silver at the right price, I'm in. Because at the end of the day, now is a good time. I definitely think prices are going to be on the up. So what we should do is, while that's not saying overextend yourself. What I'm saying is, for me, what I'll be doing is buying more for my money because I've got the chance. That's the way I see it. I'm buying a little bit more metal for my money because the price is low. Not because I'm going to overextend myself or say, right, I'm going to overcommit and spend thousands, because I'm not. At the end of the day, a few weeks ago, about a month ago, I think you'll remember, I bought a Queen's Beast, a 10-ounce coin for, 500 quid I paid for it. And at the time, silver was $45 an ounce. Today, as I speak, we're currently looking at $43 an ounce. Do you know what? If I can buy another 10-ounce round for, for that sort of 500 quid mark, I'll be all over that, because to me, that is incredible value for money. Because I know that in the long term, that particular round will double in value very, very quickly. So if you're getting the opportunity to buy silver and you want it at the right price, and it's always got to be at the right price, because when we look at things, are they at the right price? So if you're stacking for weight, now's the time to fill your boots, in my humble opinion. Nothing else, just my humble opinion, but I think you should fill your boots. So if you haven't heard, something else I'd just like to mention, because I like to show support for everybody. I'm not one of these guys that, it's just all about me, like nobody else. If you haven't heard, Backyard Bullion are doing a 10-year giveaway. So you could be in the chance to win some amazing prizes. Like there's a kilo block. They've got a kilo cube up for grabs with all their stats on it and everything. And all you've got to do is put a like on there, make a comment, and you're in the draw. So for me, it's got to be worth a punt. Even I've actually had a go. If I can actually get myself a kilo bar or some other silver for nothing, I'm going to be all over that. Like everyone loves a freebie, especially when it's like that. And you've got to take your hat off to Backyard Bullion. Like 10 years he's been in the game now doing this. So fair play to him. Fair play to him. I hope I can become as good and as big as he is. That's my aim. Is someone like that actually inspires me. I look at them and I think to myself, that's what I want to do. I want to be just like that. Just like that. I want to have 100,000 subscribers. I want to be making content all the time. I want you to take tips and advice that I've picked up along the way. And if it saves you a few quid or it earns you a few quid, fantastic, And if you learn from the mistakes I've made, because I have made a few mistakes. So not many, but I have made a few. So anyway, as I said earlier, I'm going to be at Detling. If you want to come and see me and you want to come and have a chat and look at the silver, I'll have a load of skulls there as well that you've seen in previous videos. They'll be there. By all means, just come on down, have a chat. I always like to have a yak with people. So, I'm famous for it. Anyway, I've got to love you and leave you because I've got so much to do. I've got to pack the car. I've got to, sort out my stock on the other stuff. So I've got to get cracking. So you guys, you have a fantastic Friday. If you want to come and see me, please do. Like, subscribe, smash it out of the park. I appreciate you all. Thank you.